welcome to She Is a Cook with Tia Marie Arnold. Today we are going to cook greens. I love greens, my husband loves greens, my son and my daughter love greens, my other son really loves greens. This is a recipe that for sure will come out great, but it does require you to season it to your taste. But I'm going to show you what I do. So let's jump right on in. Let's start making our greens. We're going to start with our meats. And the first thing we're going to do is put our bacon in the Ninja Foodi. So the setting that I have, it's grill on low, and we're going to put it in there for 9 minutes. And the real cool thing about the Ninja Foodi is the bacon grease is actually going to go into the bottom of the pan, and you can actually use that to saute your onions and your garlic. So we have our garlic. We have about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. We have a half a cup of chopped onion. We have 6 cups of chicken broth. I have 5 peppered bacon. And you can also do this with turkey bacon or pork bacon. It's totally up to you. But I love the pepper bacon because of the flavor that it brings. It's so good. And then we have turkey wings. I normally use turkey tail, but because of what's going on with COVID-19, there's a lot of things that are just not in stock. But turkey wings will also work as well, okay? So again, if you don't want to use pork bacon, you can use turkey bacon as your other option. It's still going to turn out wonderful because really the magic is in the seasoning from the bacon and the turkey and the seasoning that we're going to add later, all right? So let's go ahead and put our bacon in the Ninja Foodi. Don't worry about if you don't have room because with the air blowing, they kind of all blow around anyway. But if you try this pepper bacon, you will thank me later. So yeah, they're kind of piling on top of each other, but it's okay. It really is okay. Actually, I have room. I can kind of move it around. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and let those cook for 9 minutes, and we'll be right back. All right, so bacons are done. I still wish you guys could smell this. It's amazing. I'm sure you know bacon smells great. So we take our bacons out of the Ninja Foodi grill. And they're perfect. They're not too crispy. They're not undercooked. And then what I like to do is grab the grease that's at the bottom. This is probably like a half a cup of bacon grease, and I pour it in my pot. That's my oil. Turn it off. So, the Ninja Foodi has done that part. Now we need to chop up the bacon. It's hot. Okay. Now, if you notice, I have not introduced the star of the show yet. I will shortly. What kind of greens do I use? That is the question. There's so many options. There's different ways. There's mixed. There's collards and turnips and mustards and kales. All right, so our bacon is cut up. And now we're gonna head on over to the stove. All right, so now we're at the stove. It's time to saute. All right, so we have put the bacon grease in the pot. You can hear it. Okay, let's go ahead and add our garlic. That's the sound of I'm ready. Bringing you to life. Onion. And you just saute until the onion becomes clear. The house already smells amazing because of the bacon, but now it's about to smell even more amazing. More amazing. I don't know, saute it for about a minute or two. Depending on your heat, I guess. Go ahead and add your chopped up bacon. And swoosh. All right. The next step is you add your 5 cups of chicken broth. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and add our turkey wings or tails. I normally use turkey tails, but I didn't have any at the store. Let's go ahead and place those in there. These things are huge. And I'm adding the rest of that pepper. Okay, and then add your chicken broth. You don't want those onions and garlic cooking too long because then they'll start to burn. You don't want that. 5 cups. Now you're going to bring this to a boil, and after it comes to a boil, then you're going to simmer for 30 minutes. So our pot has simmered for 30 minutes with the chicken broth, the turkey wings, and the onion and garlic. So now we're going to add the star of the show. Now, with these greens, I have mustards and kale. Mustards and kale. I love this combination together. So we cleaned the greens. We did a special cleaning with vinegar and water. And we also have chopped them or peeled them off. So, you know, they don't have to be perfect. And I also love to put the stems in because they add a very special flavor as well. Okay, so this is the thing. I have 2 big pans of greens because, as you all know, I have a big family. But depending on your size, this may be too many greens for you. So you can kind of figure out what type of, how much your measurement should be, I guess. But for my suggestion, these greens are really good as leftovers, so make this much and do not save them in its own juice because then it gets super soggy. So just put them out of the juice and put them into a container and you can save it for the next day and they taste really good. So now you just add your greens. And this is really important. You need to turn up your temperature, because now they're going to cook for 45 minutes on high. Your greens are going to look like they can't fit into the pot, and with those big old turkey wings, that's why I like to use turkey tails, because they're a lot smaller. Don't worry, because as the greens cook, they will shrink and you will have enough room to put all your greens in. So our greens have been in here cooking on high for 45 minutes, and now we add the seasoning and we turn it down to low because you don't want to overcook them, okay? And some people's preferences, sometimes they don't like their greens too cooked, so it's totally up to you. So this is where you season to taste. So I like to put a little bit of garlic. We already have garlic in there, but I always like to add a little bit of garlic powder. And a little bit of onion powder. Very little because we already have onion in there too. Now this is where it really depends on how salty you want your greens. I do not like my greens very salty. You have to be very careful because this kosher salt will trick you. And that was probably like, I'm not sure what that measurement was. And then I do sprinkle a little bit of cayenne pepper. I like a little bit of heat, but because my children love greens, I do not make it too hot for them. And so you add, oh, another ingredient that I like, Lawry's, okay? So you add it to your greens, you kind of swish it around and let them sit in the seasoning, and then you kind of come back and you taste and see if it's good or if you need to add more salt. You probably don't need to add any more garlic and onion powder to it. And I do like to add my seasoning salt. I like Lawry's, but you can use any kind of seasoning salt you want. So I want to taste it to see where it is. So for me, I think I need a little bit more salt. Not a lot though, because it's really good. And remember, the bacon has salt, so you don't want to add too much salt to it, but that's pretty much your greens. I let them sit in there until it's time for us to eat, and they're going to be fantastic. So thank you for joining me at She is a Cook with Tia Marie Arnold. Have a blessed day.